Hello and welcome to Impact Zone. Here at Impacto Humano Human Impact Humanitarian Club, the platform where voices meet purpose and conversations spark change. I'm your host, architect Honor Austin, and with me are great members of Impacto Humano. So on my right here, I have
Stanley Nnape.
and on my left.
Barista Uchechukwu Ezala.
So together we are thrilled to have you guys here on this podcast. We dive deep into real stories, bold ideas, and inspiring journeys that challenge the norm and push us towards a better society. So, today we have an amazing and interesting topic that concerns us men. As you can see, we're all men here present today. And on the 16th of May, the world celebrated the International Day for the Boy Child. And that is what actually brought us here to actually talk about the struggles of the boy child in our society, especially here in Nigeria. You know, there is a particular stereotype or pressure that is dominant from the first day you come into this world through your mother's womb. There is pressure as a boy. So I don't know, Barista Bright, what do you think when they talk about this boy child here in Nigeria? What's your, you've had your own fair share of experience, or you're still experiencing it. So
Yes,
yeah,
it's not been easy as a boy child. It's never been a smooth journey as a boy child. The thing is that most times we're given every other basic thing, but most times we are starved of the emotional attention that comes with the boy child. Most times we're allowed to rely on ourselves. We're given that safe reliance. We're given that reasons to be on our own, reasons to survive on our own. You know, there used to be a popular opinion then that boys don't cry. You get
yeah, exactly.
men don't cry. So as a matter of fact, most of us never saw our parents, our dad particularly, cry. So it's really gave us that mindset that we can't cry or we can't even be shocked by whatever comes by us. And whatever we see or whatever we tend to see in the course of growing up, you chest it and you take it like it's normal thing. You don't need to cry out loud. You can't cry out loud. It came from what I could see as cultural conditioning, where as a man or as a boy, you're expected to act in a particular way. You're expected to masculine everything that comes your way. You're expected to act in we have a behavioral pattern expected of you as a man, which has pushed a lot of us to some sort of loneliness, depression, and all that. Because you see a problem that you cannot face it
Yeah,
alone.
yeah.
But based on say you be man,
Mm.
no one expects you to come and tell some other person that this is what you're going through.
Well, the thing actually is that, you know, today we'll be actually be talking about the silent struggle that women face and how it has affected our society as men, starting from you as a young child, a teenager, coming up into growing into a full adult. There's always this silent struggle. Like remember when we were little, if you're in the midst of your peers, maybe girls and guys, and you kind of maybe you're under punishment or you're being flogged, or your parents said even hit you to even cry as a guy, it's going to make them even want to hit you more because they beat you, and as a child, you should be expressive. They should allow you to cry and express. You see them telling you to shut up, and you suppress that energy. You understand? And somehow growing with that has a way of affecting our society and all of that. I don't know. Mr. Stanley, what do you think about it? Especially you growing up as a child. What can you tell us about that experience?
Well, when it comes to, from my own experience growing up, it was a kind of tough time for we. More especially, I'll give instance with my family. We are six in numbers, five boys and one girl.
Hmm.
At some point in my childhood period, I felt we the guys were not really loved like the way our sister is being
Yeah.
loved. that affection, that love, we did not really experience it like our sister did. You
Yeah.
understand? So I think the society and the pressure that they put on boys and the lack of love and affection has made boy child struggles a lot in life, more especially emotionally, and we lack that affection. I'll give instance with my dad that time. I remember when maybe my sister does anything wrong to us or something, if you hit her, my dad don't want to know who is
Of
at
course.
fault. You are going to collect it from him. You understand? So that's mindset alone. If not that I was the older one, I would have felt my dad hated me. You understand? So,
Mm,
but at some point, I realized that maybe it's because she was younger. Maybe
mm,
it's because she was the only daughter. You understand? So, a lot of people will think they were not really loved. You understand? So, sometimes we lack that love, that affection from even from our own home, from our own family. Sometimes you'll be struggling. And like Barrister just said, there's this popular saying that say, boys don't cry.
mm.
You understand? That has really done a lot of us harm because there are some situations you want to express your feelings, you want to say how you feel, but you not remember it's as if the society will laugh at you. You are a man now, waiting they worry this one. Why?
Mm.
Stuff like that. So I think
Yeah,
as a boy, we don't really get that love and affection we need.
yeah. What you just said reminded me of a time, I was denied a role, access to serve mass in the church that I was a Catholic. So after then, I felt so bad. I started crying. So getting home, I had to tell my mom that they did not allow me serve mass with my day. The response was like, Ohikwe beggar cry. Is that why you're crying? And I felt like I felt demoralized. Yeah, I expected you to.
You shouldn't have
You shouldn't have cried. Yeah, you should.
but you
They
were
nobody
just
beat
expressing
you, but I
your
was expressing my emotions and all that, and it wasn't. They didn't take it the way I expected them to take it. And after then, will I say I tried sealing
some of the
some
things.
part of so sometimes imagine me crying when I get in front of my house. I will now look for something to clean my eyes and bone up and enter inside the house. Everybody act like everything is normal. You get so it's what we boys and upcoming men, we're already men, see in.
I feel that there is this emotional side, you know, of this struggle. There's also the family dynamic because I feel, you know, do we say part of this problem? Because the truth is that this emotional struggle, this boy child, effect, has affected a lot of women. You know, somehow we carry this into our families or when we get married or even our relationship, and when we even have children, because that was the kind of love we experience. Because I feel Africa has a way of showing their love.
Yeah.
You understand? But the love sometimes can be toxic. You understand? Because an African parent, it's difficult for a father to tell the child, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Mm,
It's very difficult. It doesn't even
mm,
happen.
It doesn't
mm.
happen. It
You
really
understand?
happens.
It
Yeah.
really happens. So when something happens, you just have to suppress it and take yourself out of it. Your father or your mother will just relate with you.
Just like
Normally, yeah, like everything, and
just
nothing
like
happen.
I
Move
was
on.
saying now, you're talking about saying sorry. I'm not sure my dad ever said sorry to me, but I cannot count how many times he said sorry to my sister. You can see
Yes,
the difference now.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
because I feel the family will have to take it step by step. Because now, coming from families, I feel this stereotype was passed down to us. And it has shaped some of us. It's just maybe later in life, you just experience different things and you start learning and
Yeah.
unlearning some things. Maybe
Mm,
later through your relationship, you start understanding that, if I keep doing this hard, relationship will not work.
work.
So you have to start unlearning some things, which
Yeah,
was not your fault,
yeah,
actually.
yeah.
And not only that, I remember one comedian, I can't remember, he was speaking on something. He said, from the moment, from the moment the doctor brings you out from your mom's womb as a man, you're being in
Mm,
Lasalle County.
yes.
That the moment you came as a man, you already have 3 million naira outstanding already.
Mm.
You
Somebody
understand?
somebody say the moment they give birth to you, they'll first cut you. Like they'll first circumcise you. And you go
To
believe
show you, can't see the pain already.
that, yes, it's not an easy journey.
It's crazy, and you need to look at the effects of this, whole child, the struggle we pass through, not only from families or the whole you need to man up, a man does not cry and all of that. There are other pressures that come with it.
Yeah.
Societal pressure.
Honestly.
You understand? I
Mm.
remember those days that we call love or friendship were ended at maybe midnight call. You understand?
Mm.
Midnight calls, just strolling around
Yeah.
with your girlfriend.
Mm.
I remember then, even if you
Low
go to a
budget.
club, even if you go to a club, the fun of club is dancing.
Just
You
dancing.
understand? You dance, you enjoy yourself, you go to the club to dance.
No Dorime.
Yes, but now it's the whole thing has changed totally because it's not putting pressure on we young men, and this whole pressure has led to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Quick money syndrome. You understand? You cannot tell a girl hello. You understand
Yeah.
without checking your pocket. You understand? And
Mm.
it's this whole thing. It cuts across both men and women. But today we're talking about men or how it has affected us or our experience. So let me ask you, Mr. Stanley, what's your own experience on this pressure? Talking about from your family down to societal pressure. You understand? The girl, the whole expectation as a man, how it has, every day you see yourself as a man thinking.
Yeah.
Mm.
You're thinking. Sometimes when you're even going through depression, you have to see hide it because you can't cry, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
You understand? And everybody
Mm.
wants to relate to you as if you're fine.
Mm.
But then society, when you see yourself crying, a man said this. That's why you hardly hear of cases of abuse
Yeah.
in the family because it's not only men that beat women beat men.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
of this,
Yeah. Before
yeah,
before you get to that, these days abuse is no longer the assault, the physical. Now they have the emotional abuse that
I'm even
happens
talking
these
of
days.
physical. You hardly hear
Now,
of it. There are men.
now you talked about societal pressure. You asked me something like that. I like to give my instances with relatable things like real life story. I'll give you a simple analogy. Online, I watched a video of an interviewer asking a lady how much she has in her bank account. And she said she has only 20,000 naira. And the guy asked her, can you date a guy that has only 20,000 naira in his bank account?
Yeah.
The girl said, God forbid. How can I? It's not possible. Like she sounded like as if it was a crime for a guy to have like 20,000 naira in his bank
Yeah.
account. So I got pissed off. I had to repost that video on my WhatsApp status. To somebody in my WhatsApp status, a lady as well, commented under my status with a laugh emoji, and she said, why will a guy even have only 20,000 naira in her bank account, in
You
his
can
bank
imagine.
account?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I was so surprised because this lady is somebody that I felt she's very wicked
Enlightened.
enough. You understand? So I was like, okay, are you saying it's a crime for a guy to have 20,000 naira in his bank account? Let me give you a simple example. Where you work in a company? She said yes. I said, okay, do you have guys that work in the same department with you? She said yes. I said, do they earn more than you? She said no. They earn the same salary. And I was like, okay, if you have 20,000 left in your bank account, it is not a crime. Same guy that works in the same department with you has 20,000 naira left in his bank account. Why is it now a crime? He said, no, he's a guy now. Why will a guy? A guy is supposed to go extra mile. And I said, how will a guy go extra mile? You work 9 to 5. The same guy works 9 to 5. You close by 5. You go home, you freshen up, eat, and rest, right? Now, do you expect the same guy that works in the same department with you to leave work by 5, then go to another job? Or what do you expect him to do? Is he not supposed to go and rest just like you do? How is he going to go extra mile? So this now tells you the kind of pressure the
Yeah.
society puts on men.
Just imagine that same guy has a family at home and he's expected to give that family attention while he's trying to do another hustle.
Yeah.
The family expects him home by 5. If he doesn't come home before 5 or after 5, they begin to tag him an absent father.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see, the pressure is coming from
All angles.
all angles.
Honestly,
Everywhere is
honestly,
hitting you.
The world is against the man.
honestly,
You understand?
gender equality. I
Yes.
think it's not
He
working.
can be equalized. Yes.
It's not working.
He can't.
I
It's not
feel,
working.
I feel, for me, I'm very, I have a very strong opinion on this thing I'm about to say. A man and a woman can never be equal.
He can.
I feel in terms of
In terms
partnership,
of what?
you understand? In terms of partnership, you understand? The men's role and the woman's role is totally different. So there is no way to equate it. So now it has to be relative. The woman now has to be equally, included in that partnership. So we can equally be partners. But that doesn't mean that we are equal because I'm experiencing totally different things. Your own rules, you're experiencing totally different things. Okay, now let's put it in this whole thing is very complex, but let me bring in the family scenario as a married man. You understand? Because I'm using Nigeria context of Nigeria and not abroad. Because running a family abroad is a different mentality because the survival mode there is different, the cultural value there is different. So if you are going to be outside the country, your mentality has to really change because there are so many things that you have to compromise on. But using Nigeria and Africa as a case study. Now, a man running a family, just as you said, you know, definitely, a man can survive by own. A man are very, adventurous. You want to explore other
Yeah.
streams of income.
Avenue.
Then, and now you're married. Your whole clothes are fine.
Yeah.
Maybe there are one or two people you need to network or engage just to explore other opportunities. And you're out by 6. And already, I've been with some married friends that we are discussing business, but many calls start coming. They start, they're not in that space anymore.
Yeah.
They don't get
Yeah. They don't get comfortable. The
Not
pressure gets.
not because they're doing anything wrong, but because the woman might not understand, might, that insecure that might think that, oh, maybe you're out there having fun
Phone.
and
Yeah.
all of that.
I'm here taking care of your
So,
children.
yeah, I'm here taking care of children and you have to, come back and all of that. No. Just as I see some women saying, if I'm married, it's not only my duty for me to cook and all of that. Now, this is where I stick it. You understand? Because I feel a man's role is different.
Yeah.
A man's role is never to cook. Do you understand?
Mm.
But as a man, when you love somebody and in her moment of weakness, you can
assist.
go and
Yeah.
assist.
Yeah.
But it is like when you come back to your house, you should serve food. Whether you're fighting with your wife or
Or not.
anything, it's your wife duty to ensure that you're fed. That's her role as a woman. Now, it's your point as a sensitive husband. You say, okay, she stressed herself today. So I'm already expecting that she'll be tired. Or I come back and it's obvious that she's tired. So, okay, let me go and get something for myself.
Yeah.
Those things come in, but it is not your duty.
It is not your
It is not
responsibility
your
to make sure that.
responsibility. It
Yeah.
should not be a routine.
Yeah.
Something.
Already, men are already facing that pressure of, since it's what this woman wants, let me not compromise.
Compromise.
And I
I'm in
find
the kitchen
other
as well.
pressure, yes, I'm in the kitchen as well. Because I feel men do more of the thinking. Because even if a woman is with a man that is not even eating him, she gets bored. So the man is always thinking of how to live.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
women always look up to. So a man might not be physically, might not be throwing out the bean, might not
Mm.
be cooking and all of that. You see that in his alone moment,
Mm.
he's doing a lot of calculation that is taking
It needs
more
to be-
stress,
Yeah.
it
brain
needs to be
stress,
a step ahead.
Mm.
yes, than this other. So
Yeah.
I feel the pressure. We are just, I don't know. I feel men, I don't know. Somehow we are just unfortunate.
Honestly.
I just,
Yeah.
just mental, mental strength and mental strength again. Alarming. That's why you see a lot of, men breaking down. Statistics even have it that women live longer than men. Yes,
Yeah.
men don't last these days.
I did a research sometime when I noticed that in the UK statistics, they were saying 2 out of 8 men suffer from general anxiety and stress disorder. And you can imagine what 2 out of 8 men means. That almost every man in UK suffers from anxiety, suffers from depression, suffers from stress disorder.
Yeah.
Then he even stated when he was trying to analyze it, he said that that report might not even be as accurate as it should be because there are men who don't open up, who keep it to themselves, means that there are unreported cases. And there are ones that are yet to be diagnosed yet. You don't even understand what their problem is. So you begin to see that men are under pressure to do a lot from work, from social, we suffer from a lot of work anxiety, social anxiety, and a whole lot. It's not just the normal pressure with family pressure. Even family pressure,
Yeah, well.
it's enormous. It comes from both sides and all that. And there is no way we could manage it because the society has stereotyped us or has given us some sort of stigma that you choose what you open up to.
Yeah.
You choose what you say to somebody.
Okay, let me come in. The essence of this whole talking about the boy child here at Impact Zone is to kind of encourage women, we the men, especially in Nigeria here, and also encourage young men wherever you are watching us here. You understand on how to stand firm and not allow this societal pressure affect us. So before we dive into what could be the solution, what are the remedies? Now, you pass through school, you pass through school. So if I start with you, barrister, if I ask you, what have you been pressured during your school time? Probably maybe for a woman, what you were pressured to do because of maybe you wanted to get a woman or peer group pressure. What is that highlight of experience that this whole pressure thing, took a toll on you?
You know, it's very funny that as men, what we've done under pressure for women is enormous. Is a lot. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to think a particular time. I remember one time after my post CME
Yeah.
and my jam, I got admission after the second time or the third time. Yeah, the second time. So and I had a very good score and good grade that was very charming. So I had this friend, this lady then, who at the time she was struggling to pass jam and all that, to pass post CME and so it got to me one day. I just told her, if you're struggling was my score during my second jumbo. I could do it for you again. And I'm studying law. You know what it's like. So with the pressure now, I suggested to her that I could go take jump for her.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So, and then I was in school and the center was in Aba that time. So that morning she told me, okay, if I can, that I should, no problem now. And then, this jump thing hadn't gone digital as it is now. You actually need to use pen and some other things. So that morning, boldly, because of with all emotions, I was trying to please my woman, person where I never did date to. But I just wanted her to get admission, so we all be in school together. So I went to on getting to the center, they screened me in. Now, when I started taking the exam, the vigilator happened to be my lecturer. And as Oyibo Pepe, my face they show. So you would see me, you will know me. So he came and he met me and said, Oga, what are you doing here? I said, sir, I'm taking jam. Confidently, I forgot that I'm a law student. So the man left me. So it seems he came to his mind, say, this guy is a law student. If he was in post science, that would been different. He said, okay, he wants to move to law. So for what reason is he taking jam? So the man came back and said, why are you here again? I said, it's Jambo. He now said, he was even lenient enough to ask me, is he my brother? I said, it's me, sir. You remember? He said, Oga, stand up. He said, let me see your skit. He saw the name. I don't remember that girl's name. He saw the name. He asked me, is that your name? I said, yes. Purely feminine. I was trying to, the next minute, what I had was, officer, civil defense officer. And then it was not police that.
Yeah.
So when the officer called this, the officer said, what's the problem? He said, this guy, I know him, he's my student. He's here too, he's impersonating. I said, I'm not impersonating, no. Do you know, because of that issue, if not for that civil defense guy, I avoided that lecturer. from my 100 level to my 40, because I almost lost my admission because of that thing.
Wow.
So to show you the pressure or the, because at that time we didn't really understand the implication of what we were doing. We didn't understand. We were not able. We didn't have much guidance. We didn't have anybody we could talk to. Even say at that point I did that thing. There are only very few people that know about this.
Yeah.
I didn't have anyone I could go and tell this is what I'm about to get myself into. So there was no one to confide in.
Mm.
So even when I came back and I didn't take the jam, my guys who I told I was going to take jam, I didn't tell them I was going to take it for a lady. So I told them that someone was paying me. So I didn't even open up to them and telling them that I was caught. I don't tell them, say they pay me 10K, or say I don't carry money come back. I had to, out of my own pocket, feed them, show them love, like say, but they didn't understand the backstory. Because when I go to my phone, I start telling people, you know, see that jam where I go take that time. See, they catch me. And after then, me and the girl herself, she must have moved on from then. She was saying like, if I couldn't do it, why didn't I tell her?
I feel, you are trying to be, you are trying to be a caring person. You understand? But where I'm even stressing at is, what are the negative things you've done out of it? Yeah, what you did might not really, be good, but it came from a place of you cared for this person genuinely. You understand? That was why you want. But there is a negative side of this pressure that has made you done so, because a lot of us guys who've done something that could have even taken our lives out of pressure, not to be seen as minority, to be seen as we belong or something like this. Pressure that society has placed us. You understand?
Yeah.
Could even be a lady, you understand, telling you that she can't date you, you're a small boy, or you're not a big
Because you
boy,
don't belong, because you don't belong to a particular class.
you are forced into, trying to do things that, the wrong way. So I don't know. Mr. Stanley, is there any side of your own personal experience that you might want to share?
For me, I think my own experience were limited to family. You understand? It was more like I'm a big brother. You understand? I had to sort myself out.
Yeah.
Even during the Christmas era, when they would buy for my younger ones, especially my sister. But we, the guys, we have to sort ourselves. We have to farm. We have to do a lot of things
Yeah.
to cater for ourselves, especially buy clothes for ourselves. You understand? But I know the society has made it a kind of very hard for men to live,
Yeah.
especially to live long. That's why you see a lot of men die young. If you go to the rehabs, you will see that there are lots of men in the rehabilitation centers. You get, and again, when it comes to let me say when it comes to the society sees a lady who has maybe 100K as a hardworking lady, but a guy that has maybe 100K is a broke.
He's a broke
You
guy.
know, society has made it look like we need to do more as boys,
More is expected of you.
as men. We need to go extra mile, and this has really made a lot of people, a lot of guys, to take risks they are not supposed to take.
Yeah.
Some are taking risks that has even taken their life. Some are taking risks that has even led them to prison. You understand? The pressure is so much on us.
Mm.
It is
I remember one time I was in school. That should be my 200 level. So I left Enugu then. I came to Wales. And again, I was staying with a friend. You understand? So we were just in the room, and another guy was sorry. No, we were in the room, and we wanted to buy something that night. So a neighbor of this my friend came. So both of us left to buy something. While my friend was in the room, this my friend had a girlfriend. So while we went out to buy what we wanted to buy, and coming back, this neighbor we passed a Jeep, right? We passed a Jeep was, I think that should be a Range Rover then. Range Rover. So this his girlfriend was inside the car with the guy. Do you understand? So the guy was like, no, this guy did this guy did this. So we passed. So many will go to the room. The guy now told the guy, Omo, I see your babe inside Jeep. Oh. See your babe inside car. So the guy was so furious and so and then we rushed outside. We went to the place. So he confirmed that yes, his babe was, you know, inside. So we stood there, and after a while, they kind of announced the window with this girl. So he called his girlfriend on the phone, asking her where, because I think her hostel was around, asking her where she was. So she said she is in the hostel, you understand, and all of that. So I remember the guy saying something. Mind you, we are in 200 level or 300 level. I don't know. So I remember him saying something out of anger. He said, see this money, I can make this money. And if I make this money, I will show girls pepper.
Mm.
You understand?
That's pressure.
That's pressure, and
Mm.
that's where it's coming from. Because in 200 level, for Christ's sake, why are you thinking about car?
Mm.
You understand? Why are you thinking about, to make
Yeah.
education?
Mm.
Life should come by,
In stages.
At that point, that's quick money syndrome.
Has entered him.
Yeah.
You understand? I
Yeah.
know this also has an effect on the ladies also. It could be advanced men,
Yeah.
pressure on them. You understand? You see a girl that 18 years and you are buying her a phone that the father cannot afford. You're flying her abroad. You've exposed her into a lifestyle that she's not yet mentally ready.
Mm.
And you will still break this girl's heart and leave her.
Mm.
Now, when she meets her peers or a struggling man, and that man now, she now has to put the
expects
man under
Pressure.
expects
to
him.
keep up with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand? And the man that spends that thing on you is someone that maybe it took him 12, 13, 14 years of
To get
struggle.
to that.
Mm.
So that's what has also drive young men to want to make money that took somebody 20 years of
Mm.
consistency to make. I
Yeah.
want to make it at the instance to get that, and then you no longer care about what you put yourself.
True.
It's just that
True.
the society broke shames guys. They don't broke shame girls. You
Yeah.
understand?
Mm.
So the thing has really it has a mental kind of effect on
Yeah.
on guys.
Yeah.
I could remember during my own time in school, my school being a very rough school one time.
Yeah.
There was a robbery somewhere where they robbed like 6 guys.
Yeah.
It was a very quick one. And after the robbery, they found out the people who carried out the robbery and all those. And so they were 6, and the phones of 5 of them were returned, except that of one. And that person's phone was not returned because he does not belong to any other society.
Yeah.
According to him, as the popular is a Jew man.
Yeah.
At that point, he was put under pressure
Yeah.
to actually, he was in between the deep blue sea and what they call it.
Yeah.
So at that point, he was seeing himself, pressure doesn't just come suddenly. It also it plays in inferiority complex into you first.
Yes. Exactly.
So at that point, that young man felt inferior to his mates. And his phone is more expensive than the rest of them. So because he didn't belong anywhere, and he was running with people that belonged somewhere,
He was forced.
he now realized the essence of joining
Yeah.
them, which is the pressure men face at the same time.
Yeah.
You see, competition is sometimes you might not be ready to compete, or you might think you're not competing, but competition might come to you in your comfort.
Yeah. That's true.
You might tell yourself, I'm not competing with anyone, but suddenly it comes to you and you're forced to. You're not telling yourself, is there a thing a man can do that you cannot do? What did these people do that you cannot do? So societal pressure is a lot. Now it now pushes us to advice, to teenagers and all that. And
Even we as young, because this is like a discussion that men should actually be having frequently, because we've talked about the psychological side, the emotional side from families also. So I feel parents should also be aware that they shouldn't. I don't think they should bring a level playground, build in confidence on your child. You understand? Let them be expressive. In as much as yes, you want your boy child to be strong, and
yeah,
it's okay for somebody to express themselves. It's okay for you to cry if there's situations. Because I feel when you take that inside, when you talk about somebody being hardened, I've seen children that the kind of hardness they exhibit comes from, you know, you beat a child and you don't want him to cry, you still beat him off to keep quiet. You're beating a child, he wants to cry. You're beating him
Not to
again,
cry.
Not to
not to
cry.
cry. So it's traumatic. So I feel from the side of the parents, it starts from there. You should be able to build in that confidence. You should be able to let your child open, to
You
be able
express
to
it. Yeah.
express themselves, to speak out
Those things
when
that
things
go.
are not going well, and for you to just immense
Keep it to
that.
yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's another aspect we've not really talked about, and
yeah,
that's the side of maybe sexual harassment,
yeah,
molestation, and the rest of it. It's always hard for a male child to speak up once he's
yeah.
molested.
Because
You understand?
if you open your mouth and you won't say,
They think you're lying.
"Papa,
Mm.
How is it
yeah,
possible?
a girl raped me," nobody will.
Like
Nobody will
yes,
think it's
so
true.
Yeah.
you sometimes you want to keep it yourself.
I remember one time in school, because I wanted to form man, I almost lost my life. Now,
Mm.
I went out for, I think, a party or something with them. So, this girl that I was, I didn't know that there is this very notorious guy that has been on her case or trying to post her and all of that. And she did not tell me. The truth is that after that time, she had told me that this person is actually trying to get her attention and she has been refusing the person. I won't go out with the person. I won't go out with her because she lied to the person that she traveled. You understand? So unfortunately for us, where we were, the guy happened to find out that,
Mm.
that I started calling her
On them.
on the phone. So she picked the guy threatening her that she should come out from that place and meet him somewhere. You understand? Because of who the guy was, he was scared and he was curious and all of that. She became very scared. So I noticed that she was
Mm.
scared and trembling. So I asked her, what's the problem? He said, so person is calling. I said, I go and answer because at that time I did not, know what was going on. But she said no, that she cannot, that she actually liked to tell that she traveled. Blah 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 blah. And this person has been asking her out and has been calling me down and everything. I said, what? You understand? But at that time, I had to put on my
Your masculine gown.
masculine energy had to come out. So I was
Mm.
like, okay, let all of us go and see the guy.
But you know the guy.
Mm.
I know the guy.
Mm.
You know how bad it is.
So we went out and we went there. This guy out there had a gun
Mm.
thing and he was his gang member. So he saw me. I was like, what's the name? You know what? And I say, I don't want to mention any name. So let's say
That means he knows you as well.
he knows me as well. Let's say the person's name is C. You understand?
Mm.
Let's say, okay, me and C get scores to settle. One at the go.
Mm.
So me now dragged into something that I shouldn't have been involved in
Mm.
because I knew
Trying to
that
show your
if I
masculinity.
tremble, I'll be. This is me trying to play safe.
Mm.
You understand? I
Mm.
could have easily just excused myself and
Mm.
all of that, but then that masculinity had to come in.
Yeah.
Even in facing an obvious danger. So I was like, no, nah, I don't see here. Come on, now me and
Follow come.
the guy was like, he's a very nice guy. Yeah, he never get problems. So he just respect yourself. I obviously saw the gun, told him that I cannot, and the guy now slapped me. So in that same pressure of trying to make 90 days again that we just went out, nothing never happened. I was
Mm.
still trying to get on her good books, or trying to see me as,
Mm.
a good guy and somebody that
First
can
impression.
show myself and I have
The talent.
to. I learned this
You're lucky. Oh. You're lucky that you're alive today.
about that now. You understand?
You can see how what pressure
Yeah, what pressure can, the rest of the story, I don't want to go into details of what happened, but at last I came out safe, everybody was safe, and, and all of that. But you see that there is this pressure that pushes you into doing things that you could not even. And then
Yeah.
talking about what you said, maybe if I had been intimidated, maybe I will be forced to want to say no, I have to retaliate. And if I cannot relate as a person, I'll have to go and seek help.
Mm.
And that help might push me into where
Yeah.
I think, I'm not supposed to go. So I think it's a whole lot. And for us to keep talking about the pressure that we won't live here today. But then, since we are speaking to the audience and as young people, we're still experiencing this pressure. But I feel let us, sharing our experiences, let's use this avenue to, you know, still share, to the audience when we feel that, this could be subsidized. You understand? This could be reduced with the remedies that could be put in place. I've talked about parents,
Yeah.
coming in and make sure you're nurturing your boy child to be more self-aware. This inferiority complex syndrome or peer pressure
Yeah.
being dragged into what is not
not
right, or if you're meeting a girl and she's putting you under pressure where you know that I think it's a ladder. You grow gradually. So why would you want to put yourself in that place? It means that's not healthy for you.
Yeah.
Exempt yourself from that pressure. So what do you think could be done? What advice do you think we can
I
give to these young people?
notably, aside the young people, the society first.
Yeah.
I feel the society should give room for young men or men to speak up. It should create an enabling environment for us to have a conversation about the pressures men go through.
Yeah.
Because if there is no enabling environment for us to feel comfortable talking and opening up to you, we bottle up a whole lot of stuff, a lot of anger, a whole lot of depression, a whole lot of anxiety, a whole lot of sadness in our thoughts. And the truth is that one day we'll have an outburst.
Yeah.
This outburst could come in two forms, either depression or homicide, either suicide or homicide.
Yeah.
So homicide, we don't know who the victim is. That's why sometimes you hear a man comes to his home and shoots his 4 kids and shoots himself.
Yeah.
Happened recently.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
a man burnt his child and his wife, almost burnt himself too as well.
Wow.
So we should also create room for therapy for men. There should be room for masculine therapy, where a man who comes to a room to seek help is not seen as a weak man.
Yeah.
Because the moment you're seeing a man who comes to seek for help as a weak man, that is the problem. That is the stigma that comes with it. That is why most men prefer, rather than to open up to somebody, or rather than to face their fears, or rather than to share their problems, they seek help with alcohol. They seek help with beer.
Yeah.
They seek help with a whole lot of drugs, substance abuse. They seek help with joining fraternities that listen to them. You understand? They seek help to doing a whole lot of stuff. And none of these things help, because alcohol is a depressant drink too. Because the more you take it, when you realize yourself, the lower you get, it's more depressing than any other thing. Fraternity and all that, it doesn't still give you that safe belonging you're looking forward to. So I feel the society should have more room for men to open up, to do their thing, to actually show their weakness and all that.
Yeah.
You get, allow the man cry, allow him show his anger. Most people take anger for aggression.
Yeah.
There is a distinct line. That's why when I see people say I have anger issues, I say no, you don't have anger issues, you have aggression issues. Anger is the emotions we all carry out, which we all do. We all have anger issues. But when is a problem is when you have an aggression, which is the violent side of it.
Yeah.
The anger is emotions, why the aggression is the behavior. It's your own behavior, it's your own pattern of showing your anger. The people that show their anger by speaking or by crying, they can cry from night to tomorrow when trying to express their anger. So we should give room for men to express their anger, to express their sadness. If they are to cry, let them cry. Yeah. If they are to shout, let them shout. Don't come judging a man because of what he wants to say or what he should say.
Yeah.
For me, that is what the society owes us as men. Because if not, we'll be going around in circle and won't be able to achieve this. There'll be a whole lot of domestic issues. There'll be a whole lot of people killing one another, a man killing. You can imagine a man waking up and deciding to just commit suicide. which
Yeah.
of recent happened. I don't know if the more we talk about this, I just remember a whole lot of stories.
Yeah.
Okay, why we are talking about this discussion, this topic, why we're having this discussion, a whole lot of issues, a whole lot of ideas keep popping in my head, a whole lot of stories.
Yeah.
This one happened of recent. A young man, we worship together. Though I'm not close to him, but my dad got a text from him saying that he was depressed and he's at the edge of committing suicide.
Wow.
He's a young man, an energetic young man who is active every now and then. As a matter of fact, yesterday and the day before yesterday, we saw him fully engaged, which if he doesn't open up to you, you won't know what he's going through.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that young man said his depression was coming from the pressure of family and him not being able to meet up to the standard or the pressure the family has placed him on. So he had an issue that pushed him back, that made him want to withdraw entirely. But he had no other person to talk to because he felt every other person would want to judge him.
Do you know that family pressure is the worst pressure you can feel?
Yes.
Because the
that should be
family
your
should,
safe space.
Yes.
It should be where you.
It should be your,
if you're
yes.
having a societal pressure, it's more better than family pressure. That's
Yes.
the worst. When you're having a societal pressure, when you go
It's-
home,
yes.
you should have
You should have peace.
You
Yes.
understand? It should be your family that should calm you.
That should come you down, yes.
The one them.
Not the other way around.
You understand?
I feel parents have a major role to play.
True.
And while they're playing this role, they should also extend it to the girl child too. Because, for instance, you can also be facing pressure. The first pressure is coming from a needed family.
True.
It could be from a wife that does not understand. And your wife is even the one that pushes you into a lot of
Yeah.
fall sick, you're depressed, and so many other things can
Happen.
arise. You understand? So I
Yeah.
think it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot.
Yeah. So what actually led me to that story? It's because I'm trying to imagine what would have happened if that young man didn't have access to someone who could listen to him without judging him,
Yeah.
Talk sense into him.
who could talk sense into him. Like, I'm trying to imagine the worst
What would
case
have
scenario. What would have happened
Yeah.
if that young man didn't have anybody he could talk to or anybody he could anybody who he feels wouldn't judge him wrongly? Because he opened up a whole lot. This is what women in general face.
So it's been an amazing session here with Barrister Bright and Mr. Stanley here at Impact Zone. And here at Impact Zone, we don't just talk about topics and all of that. We, at the end, we try to dish out tips or guidelines that would help we as young people and also the society at large. So before we round up, I would also, as a club, I will also be giving out things that I feel will motivate us as young men and viewers out there not to fall for this negative pressure because it has led us into losing vibrant young men in the society. One, you need to normalize emotional expression. Teach your boy that it's okay to cry. Talk about feelings and ask for help. Encourage emotional intelligence at home and in school. So teachers should be able to, they play because teachers are like the parents the second parents of every growing child.
True.
Secondly, we need to provide strong role models and mentorship. Expose boys to responsible, emotionally balanced men who can guide them. Because sometimes it's when we now meet men that will be like, you suppose don't make this money, follow us go this robbery, or join the gang, we will make you do well and all of that. This is exposing yourself into men that will not mentor you properly and all. So you need to encourage these young people, expose them into the right mentorship. Involve fathers and male figures. Fathers must be more emotionally present, not just financially. A father, because a father figure is like the boy child should be able to open up to his father more, even than his mother, because the man can relate.
Yeah.
Talking about maybe your pressures, your encounters in school and societal pressure, you should be able. But African parents in the home, most of us we are afraid of our parents, our father, most especially. We can't talk to him. You understand and all. So I feel fathers should be there. Number 4, challenge and redefine masculinity.
Yeah.
Society needs to move away
Exactly.
from toxic masculine ideas like boys don't cry.
Yeah.
That's wrong. You know, or you must dominate. That's not,
Mm.
okay. So I feel we need to challenge and redefine masculinity. Then mental health awareness and asset. We need to integrate mental health education into schools. You understand? It's very, 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 especially universities. When you're at that point where you're depressed, you're facing pressure, should be where you should be able to assess, get therapy or get advice, what
Guidance
they
and
call it in
counseling.
secondary school,
Guidance and counseling.
guidance and counseling. It should not just end at the secondary
Level.
level.
Yeah.
Education reform, you understand? Schools should train teachers to identify and address the emotional needs of boys.
Mm.
As I said earlier, the teachers are the second parents in every growing child.
Yes.
Teachers should be trained in that, as a community support system. These are areas of the government and agencies, and here at our club, we are doing our best in our possible way. But I feel, more, communities should be involved in this to support
Mm.
these men. When you hear a man talk about something, a girl slaps him, don't say you're a man, take it.
Mm.
It's not okay for a woman to hit a man, just as it's not okay for a man
Man. So you
to
too.
hit a woman. So I think this should, and there should be a balanced advocacy. Empower girls, but also ensure boys are not neglected in policy, charity, and environment conversation. Equality doesn't mean ignoring one side; it means lifting both fairly. So I think there are more, but these are like the few we can stress at this point. So I want to encourage ourselves and the young men, Mr. Obi, Emeka, John out there, don't
Sahid.
fall for pressure. Remember, I speak am for pidgin. May no babe make you go do what you no suppose do. Let this quick money syndrome not lead you into life is in stages. And when you follow those stages, you live longer. So I don't know if this great men here with me will have any last thing to say. Starting with you, Barrister
Um,
Romeo.
Architect Austin has said it all. We've dwelt on this topic a lot. I feel most of these key topics. Okay, I feel most of these key topics you've highlighted should actually be put in place practically, and our society shouldn't just do it on the paper. You should allow the man express himself.
Yeah.
Men are going through a whole lot. Men are abused emotionally, physically, and a whole lot. There are men who I understand that there are men who have been abused physically, but they cannot open up and say that their wife is beating them. The society has stereotyped them in that way. So we should have room for men to open up. That is the best I think we should. All these ideas should be practically engaged. It shouldn't stop at all. It shouldn't stop at we just mentioning them. We should go beyond the list and make sure we actually inculcate them into the society.
Wow, wow.
Thank you.
That's very nice. Mr. Stanley, any last word?
I think you and Barrister has almost said everything. And Barrister talked about the society giving the men a
Yeah.
listening ear. For me, I will go back to the family. I think
Yeah.
the families as well should give their boy child
Yeah.
a listening ear. You understand? If you check now in this era now, you can see that a lot of men has lost their masculinity.
Yeah.
A lot has the other time a blog listed list of men that are gays. You
Yeah.
understand? So these things are things that normally they don't happen before.
Even the content creation these days.
You understand? A lot of people now,
Yeah.
a lot of content creators are now cross-dressing and we are seeing it as a norm. You understand? And me talking about family, bringing it back to family, not just the society, bringing it back to family. You should give your child, your sons a listening ear. Sometimes they are molested. Some of these gays you see, some of them started from childhood. They were molested while they were still young. You understand? But because maybe our parents or our fathers make it look as if they are this too hard to talk to.
Yeah.
We could not open up to them and say, okay, this is what some so brother or so
Yeah.
guy did to me. You understand? So I think we should give our male boys or our male child a listening ear to tell us what they are going through or what they experience
Yeah.
you understand? So that it will be easy to guide them not to keep things to themselves, and at the
Yeah,
end of the day fall victim to a lot of things that they are not supposed to fall victim to.
yeah. So that's amazing from Barista and hearing Mr. Stanley. So keep up with us here at Impact Zone. Watch videos on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Ensure you're following us in all these platforms and watch out for more videos and more inspiring topics coming up soon and all of that. Thank you very much. Peace out.